Hey guys, I'm the Philosopher and I'm going to teach you guys this combo right here. Alright, so the first thing that I want to say is that when learning any skill, when learning anything in general, you always want to break something down to its simplest form. So that definitely goes for learning combos as well. I'm going to try to put my buttons right here and I have my inputs turned on so you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, so let's break down this combo. So it's a simple 4-hit combo, but with charge characters, I find that a lot of people have a hard time learning charge characters because the inputs are so weird. You have to think a little bit differently than when you're playing a character with standard inputs. So let's break apart this combo. So obviously you do have the jumping heavy kick and then the crouching heavy punch. That's not too hard. If for whatever reason you have a problem with that, I'm going to try to explain this in a way to where, you know, if you have an issue, you're going to have to do it your own way. But I'm going to show you what I do. So take this right here. I don't have an issue with doing jumping heavy kick into crouching heavy punch. That's not hard for me to do. That's pretty simple. But if you have an issue with doing that, I like to try to learn and practice combos, at least when I'm in training mode, only press it the number of times that I need it. So I'm doing 2 button presses. I recommend this for every combo that you do, because if you know the timing and learn it very purposefully, if you learn it very intimately, then you're going to have a better understanding of the timing. So when you're actually doing a fight, you know the timing fairly well, but you're going to just do that double tap just to make sure, just to be sure that you have it. That should be like your basically your insurance. You know, making sure you're pressing twice so that it comes out, because you have all this adrenaline pumping, you have all these emotions going on, so you're going to press it a couple times just to make sure. But you should know, you shouldn't be doing anything like this right here to try to get the button to come out. Like, yeah, you know what button you want to press, but you want to know the timing. So when you're in training, you don't have any stress, you don't have any there's no money on the line, there's no rights on the line or anything like that. It's just you practicing as perfectly as you can. So with that said, just press the button as minimal times as needed. Anyway, so I actually had an issue with doing this right here. That was my first issue. That's where I'm not good at doing the DP motion. So I would recommend, if you have a problem with doing the DP motion, like, you should be able to do this right here. You should be able to do this right here. If you can't, then we'll get to that in just a second. But I had a problem with doing this right here. Like, that's my issue. I'm still learning Balrog, so he's not a character that I'm very good with, but I figure while I'm learning, I'll go ahead and explain it to you. And on that note, anyone who is very experienced with Balrog, please give me some input down below on either better combos or anything that you see that I could be doing, or even on this video specifically, any advice on how you do this input. Let other people who are going to watch this video know how you do it, because everyone learns a little bit differently, so how I do it might not be the best way for anybody watching, but for some of you, you might be able to learn this way. So, moving on. To go back to this right here, to go back to this move right here, into the DP, it's crouching medium punch into, or crouching heavy punch into DP heavy kick. Just in case you guys don't play Balrog, they changed his input. It's no longer charge down into up kick. It's now a DP kick motion, dragon punch kick, forward down forward. So the way I do this move is I actually, if you look at my inputs and look what I'm doing right here, I'm doing down forward, or 3 if you want to go by notations. I'm doing forward crouching heavy punch. I shouldn't be holding back. You know, we're a charge character, gets a lot of block moves, but if I know that I'm going to do this move next, there's no reason for me to waste energy and inputs on doing a back charge, and I'm just going to do a DP anyway. Like, if for whatever reason you do a DP from back here and then you do it, more power to you, but that's not how I do a DP. This is how I do. I do down forward to down, back to down forward. Right there. That's it. Simple. Boom. So with that in mind, doing a crouching heavy punch, I only have to add 1 extra button. So instead of just doing down forward, down forward, I'm doing heavy punch forward, down forward, or damn, I can't even say it right. Down forward, down forward. So it's really, really simple. You're going to minimize the number of inputs that you're putting in, including the analog stick. That's what I try to do. So just right here. Practice this 10 times consecutively. I mean, this is something that I learned from Geef's Gym. You want to do it 10 times in a row. If you can do it 10 times in a row without fail, and you don't have to do heavy punch. You can do crouching heavy punch into this right here, into light kick, because he gets up faster. You're not gonna do that right there. It's gonna take longer. So if you want to just practice this right here, do this 10 times. I'm gonna do it 10 times in a row just to practice. I'm gonna speed it up for you guys.
3 or 4.
Okay, so I did it 10 times in a row. I have got that move down. I'm more comfortable with it. So what's the next step? So a lot of people like to overcomplicate things. So the next input obviously is the other hard part that I had an issue with that I'm going to move on to next is this right here. Whoop, can't even do it right. That right there. A lot of people have an issue with that. There's a lot of stuff going on in that. It seems really simple. It's only two special moves kind of comboed into each other, basically a juggle. But you have to take into account the timing. So where do you want your eyes to be? How do you time this? And you also have to take into account the best way to do the input so that it feels comfortable. So I'm going to break both those down individually. So first, you just do the same thing, the same input as I did with DP. Down, forward, down, forward, right there, in the heavy punch. You don't have to do the rest of the combo to get the confirm into the dash straight. So just get those out of the way. Like if you had to do that in order to get the juggle state, you'd have to practice that. But since you only need this move right here, let's break it down and go from there. So you do that, and as soon as you do this DP motion right here, as soon as you do it, look at my hands and look at the inputs. Slow this down. There's an option where you can slow down the video, but I'll go ahead and slow it down for you. I highly recommend when you're watching any fights, take advantage of that feature, press the little cog button. But anywho, so you do this input and immediately charge back. Like his animation is really long. This animation is really long. So by the time that animation is done, on top of how long he's in the air, you're gonna have time to have that full charge. So you do this input right here, and as soon as you see Ryu hit the peak of his arc in his air, that's when you want to go ahead and let go of that charge and do your dash straight. Right there. So you want to be looking at Ryu. As soon as that move hits, you start your charge, and you're going to be looking at Ryu at where he's at in his jump. And you'll start to get a feel for it. So get a feel for first, being able to do this right here and charging. Even if you miss, that's fine. You want to get used to the input. So don't worry about landing the confirm right now. Just get used to the inputs, because getting used to the timing and getting used to the actual muscle memory are two completely separate things. Two things. So do one at a time. Make it as simple as possible and get it down. So first, if you have to, if you're not landing it, just do this first. And do that. Even if you're a little slow, you're doing the inputs properly, but just look at your hands, look at what you're doing, make sure you check your inputs that you're not doing anything extra. Do right this while you're crouching. That way you can go ahead and get ready for when you add this right here. So go ahead and do it this way, because you're practicing this specific combo. Sometimes your inputs are going to be different, even though you're doing the same button. So the way you're doing this right here for a different combo, like if I'm doing that right there, I don't necessarily need to do that same input. I might just do forward, down, forward. So that's something to keep in mind. People play differently, but that's some food for thought for some players. But anywho, back to my initial point. Go ahead and practice this right here. Whoop, wrong button. Do that the same way. I'm going to do it 10 times in a row. Also keep in mind it is light straight. You can only do light, and you can also do EX, I believe. Yeah, you can do EX. And you can do some pretty crazy stuff. I saw Smug or it was a fight with Smug and Alucard. I can't remember which one did it, but they actually canceled that. But we're going to keep it simple for right now. In a future video, if I learn those things, I'll share that with you, how to actually do it, how to break it down and understand the mentality of how to do it, because I like to know why I'm doing the inputs and understand I'm an overthinker. So for other overthinkers out there, this video is for you guys. So anywho, I'm going to do this 10 times in a row. I'm going to fast forward it, then we'll get to the next point. Alright, so I lost count there. I'm pretty sure I hit 10. Not completely sure. But we're going to go ahead and put together some of the parts. And I'm going to put it together based off of what I had difficulty with. So I'm not going in order of button sequence. I'm not going to do this just yet. That wasn't too much of an issue for me. So the combo I want to show you guys right here is the 3-hit combo of this right here. That. So you should already have the muscle memory from being able to do this right here, and then you should have the muscle memory from doing this. So we're going to put those two together and make that one thing and try to learn that. So you want to go ahead, same idea. You should already know how to do the inputs at this point. So go ahead and do this 10 times. I'm going to go ahead and do it 10 times with you. Fast forward it, and then we'll add the jump as well. So I do want to mention that the more you add things, this is what happens for me. When I add more buttons, more inputs into my combo, sometimes I forget what buttons I'm supposed to press. I know I have the ability to do the execution. That's not the issue. My mind gets all jumbled up and I'll confuse heavy kick with heavy punch, and I'll do all these buttons in my head. And that's why you want to beat those habits out of you. That's why you want to do it 10 times in a row, to help your mind know that this combo goes with these series of buttons. You're trying to eliminate all that. That's what muscle memory is. You're acquiring this muscle memory and eliminating all the overthinking. When you do muscle memory, when you acquire muscle memory, the physical motions that you're doing go into a different part of your body, or go into a different part of your brain. You're no longer thinking about things the same way. And that actually frees up more mental space to be able to play at a higher level. That's why a lot of these players, they practice certain things and they get that muscle memory, and they're no longer thinking about this combo into this setup, into this meaty, into this setup, into this, so on and so forth. They're not thinking about like the inputs at all. The execution isn't an issue. They're able to think on a higher level because their body, their fingers are able to do what they need them to do, and they're able to think about 6 steps ahead of what might potentially be happening. So just wanted to share that. I'm going to get back to doing this combo. Going to fast forward it and get back to this. Okay, so that said, you should already have an understanding of what we're going to do next. We're going to add this right here, and that's when things get a little wonky. Now, I wanted to show you that other part because I find that you can learning that part of the combo that I showed you is more important to me, because sometimes you're not going to be able to get the jump in, but having the muscle memory, like, you want to learn how to do this input and get used to that, because there's going to be times where you might get this move off, but it's not coming from a jump in. But you understand how to learn a complicated combo, or a combo that feels complicated to you. It might not be complicated in theory. Charge characters aren't something that feel completely natural. So moving on, we're going to go ahead and add the light punch, and it's the same exact concept. Something I do want to add on is that you might have to re-break down the combo starting from the jump kick, but you already understand the idea. So you're going to do that, and as soon as you jump, you can go ahead and do down forward. Get that ready. Now, something to keep in mind, again, I'm not a high level player, but you do want to keep in mind that if they block it, you know, you obviously, or you gotta get ready to block it, or do a grab or something like that. If they're blocking it, you gotta change it up. So you want to get the muscle memory down of how to do the combo in training mode. Get it down to where you don't have to think about it anymore. But also keep in mind, what I would recommend doing once you get the combo down is to put block on random, so that you even possibly do like a jab or a grab or something like that, so that you can learn. But put it on random and basically teach yourself the visual of when they're blocking and when they're not blocking, so that you know that you aren't, even if they attack, because basically one of the bad habits that I have is that even if they block it, I still do the same combo, even though in my head I know they're blocking, but I've trained myself to do this combo, as soon as this starts, I'm gonna do the rest of the combo no matter what, because I want to do the rest of the combo because I trained so hard to do this combo. That's not why I'm doing the combo. I'm doing it if it hits. So in order to break that bad habit, you want to put them on random so that you know how to train your mind to react to if they block as well, not just to if you do the button, do the rest of the combo. A lot of people have that bad habit at a lower level, myself included. Moving on. So let's go ahead. You want to jump and go ahead and press down forward and then get that crouching punch ready. And again, get used to the timing. Don't mash it. Don't mash it. You want to train yourself to know when the timing is. So do that for every single part of this combo. So bam, do that 10 times and you're good. So I want to give some recommendations. I'm not going to go through the 10 motions again because you understand it at this point, but I do want to say that if you're having a hard time doing it with the jump in, make sure you break it down. So some different versions that you can do is first just do that right there. Just do the crouching heavy punch from the jumping heavy kick. Do that first. And then, if you feel that's really simple, good. Then move on and do that first. And don't add the straight. Just do this 10 times, 5 to 10 times, until this feels natural. And what I would recommend doing is as soon as you do it, as soon as you do this move, I can't even do it. I'm having trouble doing it. Go ahead and start charging and see how long that you can just go ahead and hold that button and start backing up. And look at your character. Look at Ryu, look around. Just do this a few times. Just back up. Just hold back. Just so that you can get used to the muscle memory of your left hand. My issue is usually the left hand. I can press these buttons all day. I got good dexterity in my fingers. My hand can do whatever sequence of buttons. That's not the issue. Doing this in unison, it's like playing a piano. You're doing 2 different motions at the same time with different hands. It's like trying to do a circle in this direction while doing a circle in the opposite direction. It messes with your mind. So, that said, make sure you try to, learn different inputs. And so once you get that, once you get all of it, once you get all of it, just put it together, practice it a bunch of times, then go ahead and set on the random, and possibly like a grab or a jab or some sort of fast moving move to punish your character for not paying attention to his block. Do that as well next. Once you get used to it, that way you can transition very seamlessly into, okay, I know this combo, I'm comfortable with it. Now I need to get comfortable with 2 different possible outcomes. If option 1 happens, then I continue the combo. If option 2 happens, then I block or I tech or I neutral jump. I do something else depending on, whatever it is you're familiar with. You can practice all these if you'd like to. But that's, I had a friend who had an issue with doing this combo. I just wanted to go ahead and try a new video series, try this out. I want to learn new characters, but sometimes I struggle with it too. I find that the best way that I learn is by teaching other people. So if you guys did find this useful, please let me know in the comments down below. Also give me any feedback on how I can make this easier for you guys to learn, anything that I can do to help, because I like doing these videos, but I just want to make sure it's really efficient for you guys as well. I want to make sure you guys learn the fastest that you can learn. So feedback is always welcome. If you know someone who's trying to learn Balrog or wants to learn a character, shoot them this video and let them know that I'm trying to help you guys out. But yeah, again, I'm the Philosopher. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I definitely learned while making this video. I just learned this combo like today. So I hope I helped my friend out as well. Hopefully he watches this and he learns a little bit. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.